The area here is known as Te Tiriwa, the Great Forest of Tiriwa. Tiriwa was the chief of a Tūrehu tribe that arrived here well before the migration. Their tribe was known as the people that came from out of the earth. Tiriwa was also a great ancestor of Te Kawerau Maki. And the Māori name for Waitakere is the Wainui of Tiriwa. It means the Great Forest of Tiriwa.
The way that Māori people look at the forest is the way that Māori people look at all of nature, in that everything has a mauri, everything has an essence. So if we look after the forest, or if we look after our natural resources, then in turn they will look after us. It's a reciprocal relationship between the natural world and tangata Māori people. As Indigenous people of the land, we've had a connection to this space. And I guess people who aren't Māori, the view would definitely be different in that, because I see myself and Māori people as having a direct connection to the space that we're in.
As a child, I grew up here in the Waitakere Ranges, or actually I grew up in Te Hinga. Well, I'm talking about the 1940s. There was no highways or roads in those days. You lived off the land, you lived off the sea, and all you had to eat was shellfish or wild pigs from out of the forest. These are the things that we grew up with.
I know for a fact that there are many people who love the forest and want to care for it and want to look after it, and that's amazing. I also know from people that I've talked to who aren't Māori think it's okay just to go for a walk in the forest because it's pretty. Historically, Māori people didn't go for a walk in the forest just because it was pretty. We went in the forest to have karakia, to gather kai, to use the whenua in various ways. And I think that some cultures may not understand that, well, specifically in terms of the land in Aotearoa.
Beautiful New Zealand. Throughout the country grow more than 1,500 species of trees and plants, but greatest of them all is the giant Kauri. In this venerable trunk is enough wood to build a block of 6-roomed houses.
Kauri dieback is a disease that is in the soil. There is data that shows that the Kauri dieback disease has increased more in the areas that are close to tracks. So where people are and where people walk, there's obviously more movement of soil, and the kauri trees are getting infected along those areas. Another challenge I see for this area is just the amount of people that are coming in. Historically, Māori people would move with the with the seasons, with the weather, with the resources. So we wouldn't stay in one place for too long, and I think that's one of the main differences and some challenges that we have currently. The Rahui was something that Te Kawerau Maki did not do lightly, but we felt that important taonga in our forest were suffering greatly. And if we didn't do something about it, then our mokopuna would be looking at Kauri trees in books. Being able to see those resources face up, and I mean, like right in your face, and being in that space, that's really important to us.
To the Maori people, the forest is very, very sacred. It's not only because in the early days it was where you got your food from, but you also got your medicine from. It was the way we lived in the forest, because the forest was very, very important. The view of a Pākehā to the forest, that I can't answer it, but I know there are quite a few that's against what we're doing with the forest at the moment.
Rahui means a prohibition or a ban on an area. That's what the definition means. However, that's just one part of it. It's not just about prohibition. It's about protection. So a Rahui does mean stay out of the area and let Papa Tuanuku look after herself, and let Tāne Mahuta and let the atua do their job. That's what it does mean. However, our focus for the Rahui is about protection. So we also see that the Rahui is not just a responsibility of the members of Te Kawerau Maki. We see the Rahui and the protection of the trees and the forest itself is a responsibility of everybody. We don't do things now to make us feel better. We do things now to ensure the future and to make sure that the resources are available for the generations to come.